Hi, in this presentation we will discuss about interpretation of various phrases and terms used in patent claims. The term comprising of in claim. Usually meaning of term comprising of is taken as not limited to include whatever has been described after comprising, but it may include additional elements. Let us understand with an example. Suppose in a claim, a composition for treatment of hypertension comprising of drug A and B. It means that composition for treatment of hypertension consisting of drug A and B, and it may include any other drug like drug C and drug E and so on. So any other composition for treating hypertension containing drug A plus B plus any other drug in combination of A and B will be infringing the above claim. So this comprising of term is very broadly interpreted. Coming to term consisting of. Consisting of is a close phrase that prohibits introduction of additional element or process step into body of claim. Let us understand with example again. A composition consisting of drug A, B and C will not be infringed by composition having drug A, B, C and D. So any composition which is having drug A, B, C plus an additional drug will not be infringing a patent claim with composition drug A, B and C. Patent claim with composition consisting of drug A, B and C. If instead of consisting of, comprising of is used in this claim, then it become broader. If it is composition comprising of drug A, B and C, then any other composition which is having drug A, B and C and any additional drug will be infringing the claim having comprising of. But if consisting of is being used in the claim, then any other composition having drug A, B, C and any additional drug will not infringe the composition consisting of drug A, B and C. So that is the difference between comprising of and consisting of. Coming to consisting essentially of. Usually meaning of term consisting essentially of is taken as usually limited to include whatever has been described after consisting essentially of, but it may include additional element like some inert additive, which an inert additive does not affect the basic characteristics of composition. Now let us understand with example. A composition for treatment of hypertension consisting essentially of drug A and B. It means that composition for treatment of hypertension consisting of drug A plus B, and it may include other element like C, which other element is inert additive, and this C inert additive does not affect the basic characteristic of composition. Now coming to term A used in claim. A is generally interpreted to mean one or more, or at least one in light of specification. If specifications describe more than one device, then a device term used in claim may mean more than one device, and it is more so when A is mentioned after term comprising, which may mean one or more. So A is being interpreted as very broadly, which may mean one or more or at least one. Use of term A should be avoided, and one or at least one may be used in place of A in order to avoid ambiguity. Coming to term about. Term about used in claim does not render a claim indefinite or ambiguous. About term is considered as non-ambiguous. About is flexible word meaning similar to, approximately, or nearly. It gives clear warning that exact value is not claimed, but a contemplated variation is claimed. About 90% used in claim is not exactly 90%. It may cover some values above and some values below 90%. However, exact meaning will depend on facts of cases, nature of invention, and knowledge imparted by totality of earlier disclosures to those skilled in art. Now coming to term essentially. Essentially is generally considered definite or non-ambiguous in a claim, more likely when specifications provide concrete examples. However, by some court decisions, essentially has been interpreted to have same meaning as about. So by some court cases it has been interpreted as broad as about. Coming to comparable and superior. Term comparable and superior when used in claim. Comparable and superior was held by court as indefinite or ambiguous in claim when used to compare an invention to prior art. These terms should be used carefully to avoid creating ambiguity in patent claims. And these terms should be defined in specification in a manner that it will provide some limited guide as to what it is being compared with and what level of superiority is being claimed. So when you are using term comparable and superior in claim, then you have to describe its meaning in the specification or description section of patent document. You have to describe in specification that what you are comparing with and what level of superiority you are claiming when you are writing superior. So you need to explain these terms in the specification or description. So all these terms they are very important and court have interpreted these terms as we have discussed in this presentation. So in order to find out the meaning of these terms which are used in claim, they are always interpreted in the light of specification or description. So always the inventor, the replicant or drafter of patent claim, they should always explain the meaning of these terms in specification or description. So whatever term you are using in the claim, you should clearly define the meaning of those terms in specification and description section. You need not to define the meaning of these terms in the claims, but you need to define meaning of all these terms in specification or description part of patent document. So that's all in presentation. Thank you very much.